Welcome to the Horror Hangout podcast, where two bearded film fans watch the best and worst horror movies of all time. My name is Luke Kondo with Kate, and I'm joined by my regular co-host, Mister.
A Mister? You said it with a question mark.
Yeah.
A Mr. Ben Errington.
Yeah. Hi.
Hello.
How are you doing? You got sniffles? I've got sniffles. We've all got sniffles.
We've both got sniffles.
We've been sending germs through the microphones over Skype, and we've been swapping and trading. Yeah. Nice.
And we're both ill. I don't know. Yeah, I've been kind of like in bed and on the sofa for like 2 days in a row.
Yeah.
I don't usually like to be the person who just like gives up and just lets it overwhelm him.
But sometimes you need to give up. Like that's how you conquer it. That's how most wars are won, I think. One team gives up.
Was that? That's how wars are won. One team gives up.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually me. Usually, I'm definitely I usually like to power through, but I think when you're in an office full of people and you're full of cold and cough and splutter, people get annoyed with you, and they go home or kill yourself.
I'll go home. What's can't you work from home, or is it too taxing?
I could work from home, but that was never ever suggested to me, so I'm not going to go questioning that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, I'll stay home today. Oh, that's fine. Can I work from home? Well, if you want. Oh, damn.
I should have offered.
I should have offered. No, so just don't offer. I think that's the lesson to be learned there.
Yeah. Don't offer to work ever. Just don't do it.
Never ever. No.
News. The news is going on all the time. The news is.
Yeah, there's too much of it. Oh, there's too much of it. Calm down. Every day there's something.
There's something. The new news we got is that the 24-hour horror movie marathon that we are scheduling. We're working down the details. We're etching away at the time slots.
Yep.
And
it's all going on behind the scenes. There's a lot trying to get 3 people together at the same time for 24 hours. I mean, it's difficult because everybody's got, everybody's got lives, bloody lives.
Yeah.
And it's difficult. But yeah, so we're going to do that. That's going to be to celebrate reaching 100 episodes. But we're not going to make it episode 100.
That would be too difficult. That would take too. We've already got a massive team of people working away to get our time slots lined up. We asked them to get it for episode 100, and one of them exploded. So I don't think we should.
One of them laughed constantly at us for about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So we're not going to do that. We're going to do something else for episode 100, which is TBC. TBC, but to celebrate, we are going to do that.
It sounded like you found the acronym TBC incredibly funny.
TBC. TBC, I love it. I just love a good acronym, to be honest, Luke. Any acronym. TBC.
ASAP.
That's one. Is that one?
What one?
NASA.
Yeah, I'm sure. I don't know what it is, though.
National Association Space Associations.
Yeah, that's correct.
Correct. 1-0.
Okay. That's the news. Stuffs and the Guffs. Have you've been on the bed rest for the past 2 days? So I'm imagining you powered through. I don't know, movies and TV. What have you been doing?
I've done a bit of that. I've done a bit of this. Done a bit of that. Done a bit of gaming. I closed all the curtains and laid on the sofa for a while and watched like Korean films. You know, because sometimes when you're unwell, you need to do that.
Okay.
I don't know what got. I do love Korean films. I love Korean cinema, but I watched some films which you would consider kind of horror films. Have you seen any?
Yeah.
The Wailing. I watched that. That's on Netflix. Have you seen that?
Yeah, it's a long one.
It's a very long one, but I thought it was pretty damn awesome. It was a very. I mean, it's not a conventional horror in any way. You wouldn't. I mean, you could say it's not even a horror, but it's got horror elements.
Yeah.
It's a big sprawling sort of crime thriller mystery.
Do you know what happens? Like what happened in the? I got very confused. I think with the Wailing.
I mean, it was kind of confusing, but I did a bit of reading afterwards just to really hammer home what I thought was happening.
Yeah.
And I was a little bit off the mark, but yeah, it was a bit twist towards the end. It was a bit like, oh, is it this or is it that, or maybe it's this.
The thing about Korean horror films, a lot of them tend to be hyper emotional. Not like in the sense that I feel the emotion, but like there's always a dad bawling their eyes out and like holding a child. I mean, that's happened a few times. Train to Busan.
That's happened loads of times.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because a good example of that, I also watched The Host after that, which
okay, yeah, I watched that fairly recently. Yeah,
that as well?
That's got the same thing, hasn't it? A dad
that's got a very
bawling his eyes out. Yeah,
dad bawling his eyes out because he thinks the child's dead. But that's great. I mean, that's over 10 years old now, and even though the CGI is a bit shiny, it's still a very, very good film. It's quite a long one as well. But that's a really good emotive monster movie with the monster sightings are plentiful, but they're few. But at the same time, there's enough of a gap between them, and there's a lot of good human characters. And I think in comparison to something like the recent Godzilla film, where the human characters were just just get off the bloody screen. We want to see a monster.
Yeah.
The Host is kind of the opposite, where you kind of want to see more of these human characters, and when certain human characters die, you feel a little bit upset.
Yeah.
So there was that, and then I also watched The Handmaiden, Park Chan-wook.
Haven't seen that.
Yeah, so I mean, another long one. All of these are like 2.5 hours long. All these films, but very good. A different sort of film from Park Chan-wook, because obviously he either does the revenge thriller or the sort of like post-apocalyptic, weird setting thing. This was like set in 1930s Korea.
Yeah.
It's almost like a costume drama, but not.
Okay.
That's the way of describing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was good. I did all the Koreans.
Okay, cool. Fancied a Korean, did you? Yeah. Have you ever eaten Korean food?
Yeah, I've eaten some Korean food. Have I eaten in a Korean restaurant? Maybe. Don't know I'm being so secret. Maybe.
That is it pho? Is that Korean? Pho, like PHO, but with like an umlaut over it. Pho, I think it's pronounced. That's Korean, right?
Sure.
Okay, whatever. If it is, I had these like it was like minced beef with some Korean flavorings on just like lettuce cups. I'm telling you, it was so tasty. It was amazing. Like I think the lack of carbs actually puts people off, but like there's something so refreshing about him. It was unbelievable.
Refreshing.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm parched. I can really do with a refreshing minced beef cup at the end of a marathon. Come on! Everyone else getting water. You're just getting those lettuce cups filled with minced beef.
Hey,
oh,
don't knock it until you try it. When you like on a hot summer's day, someone's got an ice cream. Grab a minced beef cup out of the bag.
What temperature is it?
Hot.
Hot. What temperature is it? It's hot. All right. Get it down your neck.
Yeah, but like some people said, on a hot day you should have a cup of tea because it. I think I don't know the logic. The logic is that like it makes you feel colder in relation to the tea. I guess I don't know how it works.
I mean,
it doesn't sound right, does it?
But I mean, it's pretty mad. I prefer just a lovely cold ice pole. Do you call them an ice pole?
We don't call them ice pole. We call them ice pops. Ice pops.
Ice pops. What's the word? There was a word recently for ice pole that we found out.
I can't remember.
It's more of a. It is more of a pole, though, right?
Depends how big are yours. As well, you get the big ones like 30p. I think they were. I think they're 10p now.
Yeah.
And then you get the little ones, which were like really the ones that like cut your lips on the side.
You want to know how I got these scars?
Yeah.
They are very pole-like. So I mean, it might be a southern thing that we call them ice poles. Maybe it's just a Bristol thing. But a pop for me is something that's more like triangular, smaller.
What? Are you talking about a jubbly? A jubbly.
A what? A jubbly.
Jubbly.
Yeah, like that. To me, that's a pop.
That's strange. You're a strange lad, Ben.
Well, yeah, there we go.
Okay, there we go. Hey, you've been called worse.
I've been called worse, mate.
What have you been called? Okay. I've been called that a few times. Yeah. Oh yeah. So any more stuff or guffs?
That's pretty much it. I think. There's not been anything else major going down. Oh wait, no, I did watch the Netflix film I Am Mother.
Oh yeah.
Which it didn't really do it for me. Maybe I just wasn't in the right frame of mind to watch it. It was a sci-fi, post-apocalyptic thing. It reminded me of kind of like a young adult thing. You know what I mean?
I like old adult stuff. The older the adult stuff, the better.
Right. Wait. I like the adult stuff. All right. I like the older the better. No. Yeah, it reminded me of that a bit, and I feel like in terms of execution, like science fiction wise, there have been a lot of similar premises over the years, and it just it made me choke. It made me choke.
Yeah.
On the premise. There, that's it. What about you?
Finished Chernobyl. It's fantastic. Really good.
Episodes?
5 episodes. Each about an hour long. It's a bit longer, but it's harrowing. But I think the best thing about it is that you always sort of know about Chernobyl, but we still never really learn what actually happened there, or sort of what the extent of the damage is, not to the people in the immediate area, but like the pollution to the wildlife and the trees, and sort of how it takes 100 years for this the radioactivity to go down. You also sort of learn about how nuclear power plants work, which is quite interesting. It's so well put together, and kind of scary in terms of what can happen. And also watched Incredibles 2, which was good. Incredibles 2.
You watched all the Chernobyl and you went, hang on a minute, I need a nice refreshing
ice bowl. Yeah.
And
I was out of lettuce minced beef cups, so I was like, have we got Incredibles 2 to put on? That I'll have to do. So Incredibles 2.
Get yourself down a chart. Get a minced beef in. No, Incredibles 2.
Yeah, well, Incredibles 2 is not as good as the first one. I didn't think so. I found it a little bit boring.
I went to the cinema, but now you're telling me about it, I'm a bit like, I don't even remember what happened.
I just found it just not as interesting as most Pixar films tend to be, or they used to be.
Do you know what? I don't feel like I don't even really care about Toy Story 4. I mean, I'm sure it'll be good.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't feel as interested enough to, go to the cinema and watch it. I feel a bit like it's a shrugger for me.
I think it's great, but the older you get, the less kids' films sort of appeal to you. It's weird that.
It's weird that. It is weird. And I always think, God, I wish they did appeal to me more. I mean, I can't remember the last kids' film that I was properly like, oh, amazing, wonderful.
Yeah.
Is that just me being a miserable bastard? Into the Spider-Verse, is that a kids' film?
Yeah, it is, and that's fantastic. That's a 5 out of 5.
There we go. Maybe that's it then.
Yeah. Okay, so and also watched Brightburn, which I amusingly thought of as an extreme suntan.
Extreme suntan.
Yeah.
Get a factor 50 on. No, I fancy a bit of Brightburn.
Exactly. Yeah. So the film, you've seen it, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I did. I watched this one
at the cinema.
Luckily, at the cinema. Yeah, I went to the cinema.
On your own?
A very strange. I did a solo trip for this, Luke. My first solo trip in a while. And you know what?
Yeah.
I did enjoy exactly. We could have gone at the same time, and we'd have been there together in spirit. Something really weird happened there, because usually I kind of time it, so I go to the cinema and try and avoid the adverts and trailers. So I arrive sort of about 20-25 minutes after the start time.
Yeah.
That always seems to work for me. That seems like a completely, there's no way of me ever getting that wrong. I walked into this one; it had already started.
Mate, what is that cinema playing at?
I was fuming, and I was like, "Oh no!" Walking up the stairs, "Oh!" I'm trying to find my seat in the dark. Oh! And then I was all out of whack, all out of kilter. Because as soon as I sat down, the screen switched off as well, and everyone was like, "What's going on?"
Did it really? Because they knew you were late. It was like, let's start again.
Yeah, but it didn't start again, the bastards. So I did miss the very, very start of this. So you might need to tell me what happens in the very, very start. I'm doing a little Italian man's hand here when I talk.
What happened to Gestato? Well, there was the trailers. I'll tell you what, I don't like to watch trailers, as we well know, but I couldn't look away at Midsummer. Mate, it looks fantastic. Like,
Definitely. Yeah, oh yeah. That's a trailer you can watch because, it doesn't ruin everything, and
yeah,
it's a I think the trailer for Midsummer is an experience in its own right, There's the mystery and the slow reveal and the drum.
Yeah.
I think it is just one of those trailers which, you can watch over and over again. And I don't think there's anything. Obviously, once you've seen the film, you probably go, oh, yeah, that's that, this. But it's definitely one of those you can watch over and over again. We've heard reviews, well, not reviews, but we've heard snippets of feedback or responses already from critics, and this seems to be pretty. It's weird though, because Hereditary was only last year, right?
Yeah. If this guy Ari Aster, if he asked to Ari Aster make a third film, I won't complain.
Ari Aster. Oh yeah, but this is the thing: is he striking while the iron is hot? Is that saying?
Yeah.
While the iron is hot. Is he doing that? Because in 2 years, people might go, Hereditary? What? I don't remember. I mean, idiots.
But now he's pumped 2 out, people are going to know who he is, right?
Yeah, maybe he's thinking, maybe I'll pump 3 out and then, rule of 3,
Yeah, it's the rule
of
thirds. Yeah.
I'll have a nice, refreshing minced beef cup to celebrate.
Okay, Brightburn. What if a child from another world crash landed on Earth, but instead of becoming a hero to mankind, he proved to be something far more sinister? So the thingy is a question. What if? It's basically an old like Marvel what if style comic book. They used to do this. Nowadays they just have that as part of the main storyline. What if the Punisher was the Ghost Rider? What if they're actually part of the comic the continuity? But so this film has 57% on Rotten Tomatoes, 6.4 out of 10 on IMDb, and I've heard everyone that I've spoken to say, you know what, I'm not sure how I feel about that film. How do you feel about it? What was your expectations going in?
You know what, I'm not sure how I feel about that film. To be totally honest. Expectations. I saw the first trailer. I was like, nah, that's not. I don't feel like that's for me. It feels a bit, even though I don't think it's been done before in film, it felt like something that I was kind of familiar with already from like comics and the what if scenarios and the various other things. And I don't know, the fact that it had James Gunn's name attached to it, but he wasn't directing. Sometimes I feel like when that happens, it doesn't always fill me with confidence because I kind of feel like they're just attaching his name to it for the sake of it, But. And I saw another trailer, which I think was in the cinema as well. I think it was forced upon me, and I thought, you know what, I'll give it a go. It looks like it could have some good ideas. Some of the visuals are pretty cool. I think the Brightburn costume, that the little villainy dude wears is good. A little bad-tempered young boy character, it kind of does my head in various films, horror films, any films really.
Yeah.
When like the main character is like a little shit, basically. He's a little shit. Oh yeah, a bit like that.
Yeah.
And I kind of thought I'm going to be annoyed by this kid, and it's going to ruin my perception of the film.
Okay.
But I think it wasn't. And even though it was the main focal point of the film, I don't think it ruined it. I think there were some good visuals, some good body horror moments. I kind of expected a few more from what I'd heard. I'd heard that there were some particular scenes that were, gross out. Oh my god! But I thought they were pretty.
Yeah.
It was pretty well executed, but I think after a while, it kind of didn't really have much of a plot and kind of just happened to be and how many different ways can we get this essentially evil Superman kid to murder people?
Yeah.
And come the end, I didn't quite understand his motivations, or I think they really needed to dial down certain motivations, which were essentially he wanted to destroy the world or rule the world.
Yeah.
What was it?
Take the world. That was the saying.
Take the world. Take the world out for a lovely cup of dinner. How many times I'm saying a minced beef cups today?
Yeah.
Take the world. Yeah, I think they needed to double down on that, and I think it would have been better. And I think maybe they needed someone who was like an adversary to him in some way. Not someone who had superpowers as such.
Yeah.
But someone who was like a genuine threat to him, or someone who could have genuinely, someone who,
yeah,
I don't know, someone who'd come across one of these people before, somebody who knew a bit about the history of these characters, that there was more of a kryptonite for him, because I think obviously finding out that his ship was made of a material that could hurt him, was good, but it kind of felt like an afterthought, and it kind of felt like it was forced into the ending. And in the end, it was kind of like a throwaway thing, quite literally, that didn't get used again. I think if there was a genuine like kryptonite, and then somebody genuinely used it to almost essentially beat him, because in the end, he's so overpowered.
He has the Superman problem, that he's so overpowered that this kind of, it's silly even thinking that you could beat him. Or
that's why he needed a kryptonite. He needed somebody to, all he needed was a police detective, somebody to start doing a bit of digging. Or maybe to someone to come out from the shadows from the past who experienced this race before, and he knew that there was something that could take them down, and he was the one who helped. The fact that it sort of just devolved into this character just blowing people's heads up and smashing people into bits, and it kind of felt a bit. It felt a bit lame to me. I was a bit like, there aren't any stakes here anymore. It's kind of like, we know exactly what's going to happen. Whoever's going to turn up is just going to get obliterated, and that's it.
Yeah. So I mean, I kind of wasn't really looking forward to this film. Like, I sort of thought it looked kind of cool, but I don't know. yeah, exactly. And I just felt like I don't know. I was going to see it. I'm not going to be blown away, but I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be blown away by it. And I wasn't really blown away by it. But like, okay. So sometimes you go out for some nice food, and you think, I'm going to go out to a restaurant, and then we're going to get some beautiful minced beef lettuce cups. And then sometimes you just want some fucking beans on toast. Like, I just want some beans on toast. And like, this film for me was that. Like, I wasn't blown away by any of it in any way at all. But I really just enjoyed it as a nice, satisfying horror movie. Like, I would have been happy to put this on Netflix or something, or
a bit of comfort food.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's like the Take the World stuff. That's like embarrassingly sophomoric style, like storytelling. It's like, I know there is no emotional stakes. It's the kid's just sort of is a normal kid at one point, and then it's like, oh no, I'm an evil kid now. And like the bits where he starts killing things, there's no emotional like decision there at all. Like, he should be struggling to kill his own parents. That should be like an emotional quandary. And the big thing of the film should be that he's on that knife edge. Do you know what I mean? Where he could, like, you could sway him round to the good side or not. But in this instance, they fail, or however.
I think it would have been nicer to sort of have it. We're made to think, because it's sort of hinted that we're made to think that the ship is kind of controlling them, or there's something else in that ship that's controlling them.
Yeah.
It would have been good to see something physical, or maybe we needed a Fortress of Solitude moment.
Yeah.
Where he ended up going somewhere, or whether it was in his mind, or whether it's for real, but he was ended up going somewhere he met like his own race or something like that, and they told him basically, what we want you to do is destroy the world, and maybe him coming to terms with that, or struggling with that, or not wanting to do that, and then him being controlled. I don't know.
There could have been more of a, because it just felt too easy, this switch from normal kid to murderous villain. But also, I think they missed a trick with the visuals of the kid. So the kid looks like a normal kid, but there's something kind of alien about his face shape. I think they could have had some body horror type stuff happening towards the end of the film. Like, he should be looking more alien and less human. Like, he starts out, we're all thinking, oh, he's a handsome little kid, he's going to grow up to be a handsome dude like Superman. But then if we show that that's not actually the case, he's not going to become a normal looking Clark Kent guy. He's turning into something quite different. I think that would have been quite an interesting angle to throw in at the end. But
that would have been interesting. And I was just, it would have been good to sort of open it up for, I know it's kind of lame when films open up for sequels, but if we kind of opened up this bigger world, and perhaps a future for him in this world. I know we kind of get some bits at the end, which looked kind of interesting. But again, it just doesn't feel like there's anything. There's nothing to really oppose that in terms of him as a force. So in a sequel, you'd be like, well, just going to get more of the same, right? Him just budging people up.
I don't think a sequel would work. I mean, I kind of would have liked to have seen him destroy the world. I like to do something kind of crazy. Or like, I don't know. I kind of would have liked to see him go a bit more out of control, crazy at the end. Like they could. I mean, you know what? They could have done something different with the mum character. They could have had her be killed by someone else's hand, and that could have pushed him over the edge to the point of, in the Injustice series where Superman kills the Joker and ended up becoming this sort of dictator of the planet. That's because Joker kills Lois Lane, and that pushes him over the edge, like, emotionally. I think this film just needed that. It was too much of a light switch for his emotional change.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
Yeah.
He was kind of like he was a very two-dimensional character. He kind of he was a pretty two-dimensional character to start with, and then it kind of just went, but he's evil. And you're gonna go. Well.
I always think of the guy in Sleeper. Sleeper? You know the cat film where the guy we reviewed it ages ago, the Mick Garris film. Which one's called? Sleepwalkers, yeah. So the guy's like a normal guy, and it seems like there's going to be a bit of a moral quandary, and then halfway through they're like, nah, he's just evil. And he's like, turns into like a proper evil guy. Yeah.
No, he's just an evil dude.
Nah, fuck it, he's evil, isn't he? Okay, so, but yeah, you're at the body horror stuff I thought was pretty cool. I would like to see more of that, because you kind of feel like he's, Superman, there's always a sort of fear of like what he could really do to a human body if he just sort of punched through or something. Like, I would like to have seen more of. I wouldn't personally have liked to see it, but I would have liked to see it in a sort of way I like to sort of look at horror things and go, ooh, that sort of. Exactly.
I think there are a few body horror moments, but what things did he actually do to people? I mean, I know we kind of got some pretty gruesome moments, but we could have really seen some good appendages being ripped off or broken or fist things. I don't know.
Should have ripped someone's arm off or something. Like, should have done some superhero style level of murders. I mean, picking a car up is kind of cool, I guess, and gruesome in a hand, but other than that, I don't know. Okay, so the key players have got Elizabeth Banks. I was just in maybe 3. As Tori Breyer, she's the mother. David Denman, who I know is from The Office, as Kyle Breyer. He's the father of the family, the farmer. And Jackson A. Dunn as Brendan Breyer, sort of Clark Kent parallel. They're all pretty good. I do kind of feel like we needed a bit of humour. I would have liked to have this film's got James Gunn's name all over it. I would have liked to have seen some James Gunn style humour in the film, but it plays it very, very straight. Yeah,
everyone does really, don't they?
Yeah.
You've even got Badger from Breaking Bad in it as his like uncle, and there's kind of like he almost seems like he might be a sort of humorous character, but he gets a few bits and then that's kind of it.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So the film starts with the spaceship, like they're in the house. I mean, it's a complete parallel of the Clark Kent Superman story, but they're in the house. They're talking about how they can't have a baby, and there's like loads of pregnancy books on the wall, and then the spaceship crash lands, and then it cuts to 12 years later.
See, that was the bit I missed. So a spaceship crash lands. Did they go out and see it? Did they go?
No, you don't see it. It just cuts, and then later on, we sort of experience it in that weird Stephen King dream sequence.
Yeah.
So yeah, just got 12 years later, and I feel like not really that. I mean, we get the impression that the kid and the mum have a good relationship. They play hide and seek.
Yeah.
The dad's a little bit wary of the kid. Did you walk in by the time he's like sleepwalking towards the spaceship?
So I was in there at the moment. So he had a bit of a sleepwalk as well, didn't he? Down towards the barn. So we understand that this is where they kept the ship. They've just moved it and kept it in a hole.
Yeah.
It's like a lower level of the barn, and it's sort of like, and so the dad's a bit wary about Brendan. Brendan.
Yeah.
Brandon
Brandon.
Briars. Brendan Briars.
Yeah.
A bit wary about him being around it because he's like, don't want him to find it.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But you just go, oh, it's just some weird project I'm working on, just some weird thing for a Comic-Con,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, yeah.
What?
So it's after he starts to realise, I can't remember, he realises he's got super strength. Oh, yes, he's mowing the lawn for his dad.
Yeah. So obviously we're made to think that they've got like not a difficult relationship, but they've got a relationship which takes a bit more effort to sort of, get going. So he's obviously tells him a story about when he was younger, saying he was a little prick. No, just says when you were, what does he say?
You were a little prick. I don't remember.
A little prick. And he goes, now, could you mowing the lawn while I do this? And he's like, yeah, sure. And he's mowing the lawn, and he can't start the lawnmower.
I've had this problem before.
I've had this problem.
Wanging it right across.
And he accidentally slings it, 50 feet in the air.
Yeah.
This was quite a big reveal. It would have been nicer to see some smaller things before we saw this, because the bit with the fork where he was chewing a fork.
Yeah, okay, that's quite good actually.
That was good, but if that was before this, I think that would have been a bit more, the slower reveal where he was noticing things.
I don't like the lawnmower thing much at all. It felt really ham-fisted. Like it's I don't know. Like it's not a very subtle way to introduce the power. The fork thing I think was better. Even he didn't have to mangle it quite as much as he did. He could have just been chewing a fork and had some teeth marks in it. His dad's like, ooh, that's strange. But with this mangled like that, I'd be like, this kid's needs to be put down now. It's gone too far.
We're gonna have to go out into the woods now. This is when we go out to the woods to shoot stuff.
Yeah.
So obviously, there's nothing really that suggests that you might think he's got superpowers, but he ends up just putting his hand in the spinning blade of a lawnmower, pretty much based on nothing, to just see what it does. And because I thought he was going to stop.
Yeah, I wonder how many kids are like, maybe, just shooting their hands into the stuff.
Ah!
Yeah.
But obviously the parallels to puberty in this stuff we've kind of seen before in X-Men, and obviously that was a lot in the comics as well. When people get to a certain age, they start to develop these powers and that. And I guess that was kind of touched upon a little bit because the dad sort of has to talk with him at one point as well, trying to sort of say to him, you might be getting feelings about girls and want to do things and stuff and touch yourself. And obviously the parallels, because obviously he was experiencing things which was basically, I'm superhuman.
Yeah.
His dad did that. His dad was like, well, you might have certain feelings and things.
Yeah.
Obviously the parallels were touched upon, which I thought was done kind of all right.
Yeah, I think so too. They find some nudie girls' pictures under his mattress. But,
this is Ted Bundy shit, right?
Yeah, and then you also find just diagrams of organs and stuff like that.
Where do you get them? Oh, I'd be more worried about where did you get the diagrams of organs rather than where did you get the topless ladies. Plus, it's the internet age, kid. You know what I mean? You don't need paper and shit.
Yeah, I can't remember how this sort of plays out. So, at some point, he kills a load of chickens as well.
Yeah, so obviously, the ship sort of awakes, sends sort of some sort of weird message to him where he's speaking in some sort of garbled voice at night, isn't he? And he ends up going out to the barn to sort of, he's trying to get in to where the spaceship is chained up, and he's trying to break in. And obviously, Elizabeth Banks, his mum, finds him and sort of wakes him up and assumes he was just sleepwalking. Tells the dad, that he was sleepwalking, but just downstairs, because obviously she's aware that he's got a bit of a phobia about the barn. Like, I don't reckon he's just keeping the spaceship out there. I reckon he's got someone else out there, because he's a bit like, you're going where? To the barn? No!
So he keeps his bong collection.
Yeah. Bong collection. And he goes, they're just musical instruments. See? What's that smell? I was like, what's that, the Mary Jane out here?
Yeah.
But, yeah, and then obviously there's a bit later where he's kind of like, he's eyeballing the chickens. He's like, you little chickens, I'm gonna do you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do you in. and his dad obviously ushers him back to bed. But then later on, when he wakes up, the chickens have been destroyed. The door to the chicken coop has been ripped off. Chickens everywhere, and there obviously was history where they had a wolf attack.
Wolf.
That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah,
I'd like that.
That's pretty insane.
That. If I lived around there and there was a wolf knocking about sometimes, that'd be awesome.
I don't know about a wolf. That's pretty hardcore.
That's pretty hardcore, isn't it?
Yeah.
I feel like I was in Norse mythology.
We get foxes a lot around here.
Yeah.
And fox shit. The dog is always rolling in fox shit.
Can you do an impression of a fox noise?
I'm having a shit and your dog's going to roll in it. That's what they'd say to me.
Why does the dog roll in it?
I don't know. Dogs just do it. Like my mum's dogs do it as well. Whenever they see fox shit, they just like to roll around in it. And it's the smell is so unbelievably bad. Like, it's not like a normal poo smell. It's like something rotten about foxes.
You must have heard a fox at night making a weird noise there.
Yeah. I'm doing a shit.
What did you say?
That noise isn't coming out of their mouths. That like weird groaning noise. They're screaming like that because it's coming out rotten. That's the problem.
It's like, what is it like? It's like.
Yeah, it's they have loads of noise, don't they? They make like chittering noises as well, and all sorts of stuff. Yeah, sometimes they do impressions of Elvis. Yeah. So he kills chickens, and then blames it on the wolf.
He doesn't. His mum blames it on the wolf.
Yeah.
His dad's like, it was him. It was Brendan.
His dad knows like within seconds. Well, to be fair, he did see him eat a fork. As soon as that happens, you see chickens dead. You blame your son.
What's happening is the dad is like, I know something's up with this guy. He's obviously some sort of being from another world.
Yeah.
And his mum's very much in denial. She's just like, he's just a normal, lovely boy. And I know we find him in the middle of the woods in a spaceship, but he's all right. You know, he's good.
Yeah, well, she said he's from God or something. Like, she thinks it's a gift from the heavens.
She thinks it's a gift from the heavens. The dad thinks it's a gift from fucking Krypton. Yeah. And then we get a bit of Brandon's school life as well. So obviously he gets bullied, not horrifically. He's not getting like his head kicked in or anything like that. But he's getting bullied a little bit. He's really smart. Obviously, he's got really good test scores and stuff because we see he has a birthday party at one point and they talk about his test scores and he's like the best in the universe.
Yeah. They try and give him a gun as well for his birthday.
Yeah, they try and give him a gun, which obviously to American viewers of the film must be kind of normal. To us, when you see it presented to him in a cardboard box, it's just very strange.
It's like he had a guitar, like for your Christmas or something. Yeah, it's strange.
Obviously, his dad's a bit wary of giving him a weapon, for whatever.
He might eat it. Yeah.
He might explode it. But yeah, then there's a younger girl who kind of like says to him, "Don't worry, all the smart kids end up with the best jobs and stuff." And he's got a bit of a connection to her, but I think he just takes it the wrong way a bit, doesn't he?
Yeah, so they go camping. That's the bit at which the dad's like, "You might want to touch your penis every now and again. That's completely fine. I touch mine all the time." He says, "Touching it right now."
Yeah, and then Brendan says, "What, right now?" And he goes, "What? Not right now. No, not right now. I don't want to get you off. Don't want to start you off with bad habits. Don't touch it all the time. Wait until you're alone."
Yeah. But so while they're sleeping,
Brendan Burrows takes it completely the wrong way. He goes like, right, so if I'm allowed to touch myself when I want, I can go and break into a young girl's bedroom and basically eyeball her while she's sleeping.
Also, he learns that he's got like super speed somewhere off camera. Like, so he finds out he's got super strength, and he just assumes I've got super speed now. I go around. I like the there's like an insect noise they make when he's like moving around that quick. He's like, it's like a weird bug scuttling across a room.
Yeah.
It's quite cool, quite creepy little
So it's cool that he learns it off screen, but at the same time, when did he learn it? He might have learned it. He might have known for a long time, and him testing his strength was just an extra part of it.
Yeah.
We never see him winning any races there. Track and field.
He doesn't seem like the kind of kid who. So like when Superman was in school, that he pretended to be normal. Like he'd lose races and stuff on purpose. This kid doesn't seem like the kind who would bother with that.
No.
He would. I don't know.
He would win races and then rip everyone's head off just to make a point.
Yeah. So to get back from camping, the next day at school, they're doing a trust fall exercise. He's supposed to trust fall onto the girl he creeped up on in the window, and she doesn't trust him.
But she saw him, didn't she? So she kind of saw him for like a split second, hidden behind the curtain.
Yeah.
And then this annoyed me, is her mum comes into the room, way too fucking loud for the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Her mum proper comes into the room like this. Boom! I'm here now, are you scared? You're terrified, Jesus. There's a few moments like that where like jump scares are used just by people opening doors or coming into frame.
Yeah.
I know it's done in horror, but it does my head in a little bit because I'm like, nobody moves around like that. I mean, I know you get some. You probably know a few people if you lived with flatmates over the years who seem unbelievably loud, like at 6 a.m. But nobody walks into a room like that. Nobody does. Nobody goes, the door's shut, is it? I'm gonna boot it in. You know.
Yeah.
So those moments in horror films kind of do my head in a little bit because you're like, again.
They're just trying to get you. I don't mind a few jump scares because I do kind of feel like if it works and gets your heart rate going, it makes you a bit twitchy.
On edge.
So when the really scary stuff happens, like it sort of pushes you over the edge. But it does. It can feel cheap. Jump scares, I kind of feel like they're like anything. If they're done really good, then they're really good. Like if they're done kind of lazily, like the cat in the cupboard style jump scares, like it's just not a pleasant or fun experience.
No.
But like a good gag, like the one in The Conjuring, with like the fabric that lands on the woman's head, the ghost head, and disappears.
Oh yeah.
Stuff like that, like a really good, solid, physical gag.
I'm not condemning jump scares completely. I think there's a time and a place, and when they're done well, they're done well. But you know, stuff like that just kind of does my head. Makes me a bit annoyed at the film.
Oh, you bloody Phil! Trying to make me scared.
Yeah. You think you are, Phil? I'm looking around at everyone when I say that. Bloody Phil, man! Bloody Phil! And they're going, what? Trying to eat my popcorn out. Fucking Phil! Bloody Phil! And
I would love if you did that.
Please leave.
Is that the film telling you to leave? Bloody film?
I'm blowing my nose, but it looks like I'm in The Conjuring.
There's a little jump scare there.
I'll just put a solid tissue in my face.
Yeah.
Enjoy that?
Yeah, if you sort of blown your nose and then through the vibrations in the tissue we saw a face sort of poke through, that would be creepy.
My face. You go, oh. Bloody Phil! Bloody Phil!
That seems like such a Mr. Bean style thing to do.
Yeah. You must have been in a film show in there where someone just like constantly. I think I might have told you this story before, but I went and watched The Conjuring 2, and there was two women in there, and I think they were behind me and my friend. They were drinking, which wasn't obviously a good shout. I think they had some like Smirnoff Ices or something.
Yeah.
And this woman was like convinced that everyone in the screen needed to know that she doesn't find horror films scary.
Yeah.
Finds them funny. Everyone needed to know.
Oh.
So
was she actually laughing? Or was she...
She was laughing. She was like shouting out things, like going, "Oh, don't actually, it ain't scary. It's funny." Ah! Like literally.
Okay.
And I think it just got to a point where people were just turning around to her and just going, "What is wrong with you?"
That's a weird defense. There's some sort of thing there that's telling her that weird makes her better than other people.
Yeah. It's like
you're better than me. You're scary.
Everyone goes, and she goes, hilarious.
Yeah.
Ain't funny, is it? You don't go to a comedy show and you just get jump scare after jump scare and then come out going, "That was great."
Yeah.
You want jokes.
You're doing it wrong. I don't know where we are. So.
Yeah, so what happens after that
the trust fall. Yeah.
The little girl lets him fall.
Yeah.
And then they go say sorry, pick him up, and as she picks him up, he snaps her hand or breaks her hand or something.
Yeah. It's quite a good moment. I think we saw there must have been like a rubber hand or something because we saw him squeeze it and it like the fingers all jumbled up.
Yeah, jumbled up. You're not in the right order.
And then he gets expelled for a little bit. They say you need to go to counselling.
He gets suspended for like 2 days. Then he gets sent to counselling, which happens to be like his auntie.
Yeah.
His auntie. So like but then he pretty much doesn't take no for an answer and goes straight back to the little girl to say kind of sorry and then he give her flowers.
Well, I think before that, he keeps hearing the noise from the basement, and then he suddenly goes he does that kind of Jeff Goldblum style figuring stuff out. So take world globe world take the world take the world. Like he gets that sort of thing, and it's like, oh, I'm an evil character.
I'm an evil guy.
And then he goes
after all this time.
And he goes to the what's his name and says, "Don't worry, I realise now I'm better than everything, and I can do what I want."
It doesn't feel justified because it's not like if he had been going if we'd seen like some really horrible characters treating him like shit, various characters, but he's kind of his life seems nice enough.
Not that bad, is it really? Yeah,
he's got supportive family.
Bit of white privilege over here.
Bit of white privilege over here, dude.
Yeah.
Brightburn boy. Everyone seems kind of nice to him. Obviously, he's messed about with this girl a little bit, but it's his own fault, really. He shouldn't have squeezed around and made it all go like Play-Doh.
Yeah, should do that.
Done that.
Should never do that.
There's a couple of boys in his class who obviously give him a bit of shit, but it's just a bit of bants, mate, isn't it?
It could have gone more like for example, the bullies in It are actually kind of scary because they're like
what?
They're really violent. Yeah, they want to carve like their initials into the losers club's bodies and stuff. Like they're kind of really scary. But this bully was also the bully didn't get any comeuppance. I don't think we even see anything happen there. But the bully wasn't that bad really.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously there's the mum character of the girl. He obviously hurts her hand.
Yeah, she
gets comeuppance, but even she is like not that bad a character. She's obviously just trying to defend her daughter, and the fact that her daughter's arm got pretty much smashed to bits, you would be like that.
Yeah,
you'd be like, "What's wrong with him? Bloody smashing her arm to bits, the bloody twat."
And he keeps like looking at her at the moment. It's sort of like I'm a serial killer way, like I know that I'm a serial killer.
But she always defends him. That's the thing. I mean, that's obviously the thing that eventually ends up being carried further into the film is that she defends him much no matter what, even when the evidence points to him in serial killer superhero supervillain.
He at some point around here he's got his mask now. Again, we don't see him make that mask, or I think it's quite an important part of a superhero origin film.
The cape is like made out of a blanket that he was wrapped in when he arrived, right?
Yeah, but the mask is like a big shoelace or something. It's a cool mask though. I like it. It's just
it is a cool mask. But the thing is, we can kind of see as just normal garb underneath, which is a bit
garb.
We just see him in his bloody normal clothes underneath.
Yeah,
like chino shirt.
Yeah,
and a pair and like a rugby shirt.
Did you call it clobber in Bristol? Clobber.
Yeah, clobber.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we'll go clobber.
Okay, good. Good.
We have similarities. Very nice.
Yeah. So we get the first proper kill scene here. So she chases the mother to her workplace. She works in the cash. She's closing up. He stalks her. He draws his initials on the window a million times. Which
he breathes on the window. And there's the B on it like a million times.
Imagine how much effort. I mean, to him, I guess when he's going fast, he experiences the world kind of slow. There's a lot of times to be doing like drawing. I wouldn't do it.
I reckon I'd do 5, and then I realise the others had all faded out, and I'd be like, shit.
Yeah, just do one big one. That's all you need.
One big one, that's it. So obviously,
at like a diner, and she's like cashing up, whatever. And he makes like a light explode, and she gets some glass right in the eyeball.
Yeah, that's quite gruesome.
It's quite gruesome, yeah.
She pulls the glass out of her eye, and it makes like a horrible crinkling pop, like crisp packet noise as she pulls it out.
Yeah.
That's good noise. So then she hides in the walk-in freezer, and then Thingy laserizes it open.
Thingy. Ah, Thingy's here. You've got a good supervillain name, yeah.
Thingy.
What is it? It's Thingy.
Yeah. So,
Call yourself Brightburn, because that's where you're from, and your initials. What? Nah, Thingy.
I didn't realise that was his initials.
He's never really actually referred to as Brightburn, though, is he? So, like, I guess, in watching the film, we call him Brightburn, but he's not really Brightburn, that's the name of the area.
It's not too bright. Not too bright, is he, Mr. Brandon Brightbird? And
Brandon Brightburn Briars. Brandon Briars from Brightburn. Brandon Briars from Brightburn. Imagine if he was on University Challenge. And now we've got a supervillain.
Brandon Briars from Brightburn. Yeah.
Brandon Briars from Brightburn, but now he lives in Brighton with his friend Brian Briars. Don't know why he's got the same name as him.
The Brandon the boy Briars became Brightburn. Brightburn the Brandon Briars boy became. Try to say that.
Oh yeah. I'm not gonna try.
No,
You've said it now. I'll just.
Okay.
I'm not gonna try. Brandon Briars the Brightburn boy became. Nah, see there we go.
Good though. Good. Practice. You'll get it for next week. And then
I'll do it next week. That's my homework.
So he flies. There's a jump scare. He sort of flies toward her and then disappears, and then she's gone. After that,
then we get like a small town cop. You know, he's been assigned to the case. He's going to get some evidence together. He's going to start connecting some. He's going to start making some connections. So
feels very Stephen King to me. A lot of the sort of the setup, the
definitely.
Detective,
small town
cop guy. Yeah.
The detective is like looking for obviously finds the logo, the initials on the window.
Logo,
but at this point, there's no body. The mum's vanished, which doesn't seem like it in his MO at this start. But I guess it's the first killing he's done. So
yeah. Well, later on we see the body, don't we? We see that he's on a open. He's looking inside it. So I guess the next bit is. At this point, he's full on evil. He's a serial killer. And his auntie says, "I'm going to have to tell your mother that you've been naughty, unless you feel any remorse." And he obviously doesn't feel any remorse. So
it's a bit of a weird one. It's like you better feel remorse, like because obviously he's in counselling now with his auntie, which is obviously seems like it should be easy. It's your auntie, you know, just say sorry. But he's going full on evil now. He's really embracing the side of it, and this is something, you know. We don't know all that much about his character because it's not a very well fleshed out character, but still his submersion to the dark side doesn't quite seem justified. Again, I think now would have been a good time to sort of be made aware that he's being controlled by this otherworldly force, or maybe we're introduced to something to do with the spaceship that kind of shows why he's behaving the way he is.
Yeah.
Not the fact that he's kind of done it on a whim and I had a dream and whatever, Martin Luther King.
Yeah. So he follows her to her house, does a bit of sneaking around.
Yeah, starts freaking her out by making the lights come on in the garden and all that shiz.
She's got a weird security thing that says someone's in the garden.
Yeah, that annoyed me. Every time a fox goes in there to shit, you'd be hearing that guy.
Yeah.
Someone's in the garden.
What? Yeah. So we got the, I can't remember his name now. Badger
from Breaking Bad. Yeah, so he's having a drink.
All these bees. Badger from Breaking Bad is talking to the boy from Brightburn, Brandon Byers.
Brandon Byers' dad.
Yeah.
So he's had a few drinks, hasn't he? Has he had a skimful, or has he had just a few drinkies?
The dad says 3 at this point.
He's been counting them.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm going to drive home and see my missus. Give her one give her one from you before I go to sleep.
This one's from my brother, or is it
brother-in-law? What?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he goes back, and obviously Brent finds Brendan Briers sneaking about. He's just in the cupboard.
He's really crap at sneaking about. He's just there within second. Like, goes in the cupboard and there's a boy there.
Yeah, with a mask on, and he just goes, "What are you doing?" And it's like, "Oh, you're in so much trouble. I'm going to take you home and tell your mum." That's it.
Yeah.
And obviously, as he tries to do that, Brendan Briers just gives him a gut punch, right?
Yeah. But then, why does Badger get in the car and start driving away? Like,
it's almost like he knows Brendan Briers is gone, so he starts driving, but he drives way too far for like a kid to have been able to have gone.
Yeah.
And then obviously finds him just in the middle of the street, but then starts treating him immediately as if he's like some sort of like ghost.
Yeah.
It's like he must know him really well. Like,
I feel bad because they were obviously trying to inject some humour into that bit as well when he was like, nope. That sort of like cliche. What's that sort of thing where they say,
nope, that's too much for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, it seemed kind of memey to me. But
yeah,
Brendan Briers
just memey, definitely. But also he knows him well, so you'd get out of the car and go, Brendan, what the hell are you doing? Or like if he starts crying, you'd be like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
You wouldn't be like treating him as if he's some sort of,
ghoul.
Ghost.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then obviously Brendan picks up the car with him in it, drops it.
This is probably when people talk about the body horror gore stuff, and they probably mean this bit, I bet, which is the entire. We see like the bottom of his jaw smash off, and he's like holding his jaw together, and he's got and then Brandon.
Yeah, that looks pretty messed up, and Brendan Briers just like, that's it.
Yeah. Leaves
him. Obviously, the body gets found. The same police officer is doing a bit of investigating. Finds the double B in blood on the asphalt nearby.
Yeah.
And then basically his life just starts devolving. His life sort of starts falling apart at home as well. There's arguments with his dad. Obviously he's being a bastard, but he just doesn't respond in any way.
Yeah.
His dad sort of starts basically believing it was him who killed Badger from Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
And the family life just starts falling apart, and this is where but then it's almost like they've made his character so void of human emotion that like he's not really a character anymore. Even as a threat, there's literally nothing to him where you think like A, I can't wait for this guy to get beaten, or B,
yeah,
I want this guy to be okay. You feel void of emotion towards what's essentially the main protagonist.
Sort of, yeah. There needed to be a bit more of a. Is he evil? Is he not? Does he feel remorse? Does he like? It needs to be a bit more of a play with that.
He's acting like a little prick. He's like punk rock now. He's like, I've been listening. All right. I've been listening to Sex Pistols lately, and I just think everything's shit. Everything's bollocks. Yeah. Mum and Dad, you're just a pair of squares. And tomorrow I'm going to go into town and buy myself a studded leather belt.
So
and you wait.
There's another film that's kind of similar to this, but I think does this stuff way better. It's Chronicle. The whole element with Dane DeHaan, I think his name is, his sort of devolve.
He becomes like cocky. He's like,
yeah,
I've got these powers now, so I'm better than you. I'm so cocky. Look how awesome I am. Which works a lot better because he becomes the bad guy through that behaviour. But with Brightburn, Brendan Briers kind of just becomes void of human emotion. It really just completely derails.
Yeah, and maybe they were trying to turn him into a Jason style, emotionless sort of serial killer sort of thing. But I don't think that really quite works in this way. There's something kind of strange about him, about them treating him like a boy when he's obviously not a boy anymore. It's weird.
Yeah.
So the dad has the Stephen King prophetic dream. I've noticed that's quite like that seems to be in vogue at the minute, where they go to sleep and they wake up and the end of the bedroom is in the woods, like they walk out into the woods sort of thing.
I think we've got that in Pet Cemetery as well, didn't we?
Yeah.
I like it.
I do like it. Yeah, because it's just like a chance to sort of play with crazy visuals for a bit, and you don't have to sort of play by the rules of the world or anything. Like so,
and it immediately establishes it as being a dream. Whereas I think a lot of dream sequences, especially in horror films, when they're presented as being real life and then suddenly they're a dream, it's like we've seen that so many times, and then it's like the rules of what's happening are kind of questioned throughout, and then when you realise it's a dream, you go, oh well, just pretty much just disregard that whole last 2-minute segment then.
Yeah.
Whereas this, when you establish it as a dream immediately, you kind of know, and any visuals that are presented to you, you kind of think
it's more of a thematic understanding of the characters, where they're at in the head, sort of thing.
And you appreciate the visuals for what they are more than thinking that they're integral to the plot. When someone just goes, and wakes up, that's the moment where you go, oh, that was bullshit. Yeah. But when you know it's a dream, I feel like I'm more invested when I know it's a dream as well.
Yeah, because it although it's not real to the world, it is real to that character in that moment. It feels there's something about it that does work. That it does make it is kind of creepy.
And you can reveal things in those dream sequences as well that you couldn't reveal in the plot normally. Reveal things, which is somebody putting two and two together in their dream, and then suddenly waking up and being like, "Oh shit, yeah, why did I not see that the whole time?" I think that's a good way of announcing a reveal like that. But
so his dad wakes up and he says, "I'm going to take Brendan camping again." He takes his rifle, and he shoots him in the back of the head. And as we know,
I guess it's kind of obvious what he's going to do pretty quick early on. Obviously, he thinks that Brendan is the one killing these people. The mum's still in denial, but he's like, I'm going to go and put him down in the woods. It's a proper what's that moment in Walking Dead when Carol takes those little girls into the woods and one of them's killed someone or something. Just look at the flowers. Look at the flowers. Look at the pretty flowers. And shoots in the back of the head. Spoiler alert for Walking Dead season 3 or something.
Not seen it, but don't worry.
I've spoiled it for you now. But it's pretty much like that. He's going to try and put him down, but we know that ain't going to work because if we've already established that his similarities to Superman are he can fly, he's got super strength. God damn, we know he's going to be bulletproof.
Yeah.
So the shell pretty much just pings off the top of his crust.
Yeah. His crust. And then so he knocks the dad down. He's standing above him. The dad's like, "Please don't hurt me." And then it's quite a horrific scene, really. I mean, he burns his face away. You've always kind of wondered with Superman, what if he just did that to someone's face?
You know what I would have done if I was the dad?
What?
If I would have shot him in the back of the head and he would have turned around like, what the fuck? I would have gone, I knew it, you're bulletproof! Yay! High five!
I would have done that thing where you turn around and look behind you. It's like, where the fuck's that come from?
Did someone just...
It's a drive-by fruiting, dear.
It's a drive-by fruiting.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, I would have reacted like that, where he's gone, oh, now I've done it. Screwed.
Yeah.
And again, the son,
Alex, the
son 5 minutes earlier was kind of acting normal, like going, what are these what are these little animal tracks?
Yeah.
And then he turns around and he goes like, I'm full on evil now, I'm going to basically...
You hit my evil button. You just hit me on the evil button right there. So he turns him evil, blows his face away. Like look. If I was a dad and I saw the laser beams, I'd have put my sunglasses on. And then they would have reflected the laser beams. I feel that's how it works. He could have beat him.
Yeah. And then around this time, the police officer goes to the house and he's kind of saying he wants to see Brendan, talk to him. And this is where Elizabeth Banks kind of does the denial moment, but then she immediately realizes actually he's a fucknut. Actually, after all this time, I've been denying it, but protecting my son.
Yeah.
He is an evil alien, superhuman beast.
Yeah, all parents come to that realization at some point. I'm sure my mum and dad realized that at some point. Oh shit, he's a alien beast, and then they realize no, he's just a strange guy. Yeah. So the detective and police arrive at the house. Brandon is trying to knock the house over for some reason.
Yeah, so Brandon's decided that he's killed his dad and now he wants to kill his mum as well. So he kind of like she phones him. I think the reason he wants to kill her is because he answers his dad's phone, and she goes, "You're right all along. He is an idiot.
He is a fucknut.
He is a fucknut. He is a evil superhero killer man." And then obviously he goes, "Well, you've done it now," and he just starts flying into the house and basically just smashing away parts of the house. And it seemed like it's some sort of game. He's obviously toying with his mum in some way.
I couldn't tell if it was like a tantrum, if he was like, wasn't.
The thing is, if he was more vocal with things, I think we'd sort of understand him a bit better. If he was shouting things, saying like,
"You fucker,
you're not my mom," or
you're
all like just hating the human race,
crap at
like
cooking.
The fact that he's kind of like silent and you kind of again is motivations at this point, I think, because if we're made to think that he's being controlled in some way to take the world, we don't see any of that really. We just see him mugging off his mum and dad, which is you got to think bigger than that. Grand scale. He should have killed the mum and dad early and got out there.
Yeah. Well, so he the police detective turns up. He lasts 5 seconds because, of course, he would against Superman. He just gets like.
But isn't it? Sorry to interrupt, but it would have been nice if the policeman, we could have seen him do a bit of digging. He could have done he could have been starting to find a few pieces of evidence and maybe worked out. And by the time we get to the final act, he's developed some sort of defense mechanism, or he's found some weakness,
or
something. I don't know what it's going to be, but so that even though he gets smashed out, eradicated from the final act, he could have turned up at some point with this thing that he's discovered and used it against Brightburn in some way. But that's it. It's a final act again with no stakes because the character is just murking everybody.
Yeah. So he like explodes the detective as he flies into him. And then there's a woman detective who we see him kind of like smashing it into the ceiling like repeatedly, and then when he does kind of sort of finish with her, she's all mangled and sort of neck's twisted around as she dies. Then there's a bit more hide and seek, a bit of a sort of mirror to the start of the film where his mum runs to the basement of the barn or whatever.
Yeah.
And she gets a bit of the spaceship because he cut his hand earlier on it, so we know that makes him bleed.
Obviously, that was a little bit of here's a weakness of his, but again, it was kind of put in an earlier part of the film and then just kind of slammed into the end as kind of a realization of her.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it just kind of felt like, and again, as much as it was given, it was kind of thrown away again as what I know.
Yeah.
And then obviously we see the body of the woman from the diner, sort of with the logo drawn around her. She's sort of split in half.
Yeah.
Boobs hanging each side. There was obviously a combination of the things he had, the pictures he had in his room, which was boobies and people's organs splayed out.
Yeah. He's gone like full psychopath on that side of it. So it ends with the mum like, "Oh, I love you. Come and give a kiss. Gives a little kissy on the facey," and then she tries to stab him, but it's like so obvious that he stops it.
And he stops her, yeah. So I mean, it would have made sense if she stabbed him, and not that he died, but something happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he flies her up into the air, just lets her go, lets her fall to her death, and then a plane is coming towards him, and then it cuts to black, and then we see the aftermath where he's made a plane crash to cover up the murders.
I did quite like that last visual with him dropping the mum. Like he flies up to, it's similar to like a Superman scene where he flies up near enough to space, and he drops her, and then we just see him in the sky, like an evil thing. That's quite good. But yeah, there's like the after credits thing, which is like Brightburn is destroying town and all this kind of stuff.
Michael Rooker, isn't it?
Oh yeah, what is like the whole Avengers, like anti-Avengers thing going on? Like, there's a Man in the Water, there's a Wonder Woman,
Justice League.
just in Justice League. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit like that. So obviously we've seen loads of different footage of Brightburn destroying various things, made like his logo in the crop field and stuff. So we understand that he's going around basically killing people willy-nilly. But again, it's like, well, we're screwed then, aren't we? No one's going to be able to kill him. That's it. That's the end. That's how the world ends, little boy.
Yeah. So I've got some trivia, but it's a bit different. It's
Okay.
So it's a game of opposites. So you need to name the opposites. So for example, this would be for this film. Alien child lands on Earth, is brought up on a farm, has laser vision, destroys world. The answer would be Superman, because I'm going to say the opposite. That what would be the opposite equivalent of the superhero, the famous superhero, and you say the real one. Okay, so it's always going to be like a comic book character.
Okay.
So number one, an insect was bitten by a radioactive schoolboy. It's unable to stick to walls, and his webs won't come out. He doesn't have several movie adaptations about him, nor a PS4 game. So who would that be?
That's a shame. Spider-Man.
Yeah, or in this example, Boy Spider. So number two, this man.
So what have I got to say? The opposite, or the?
You've got to say like the actual real comic book person.
Got you.
Okay. Number two, this man is not from another place, doesn't have super strength or speed or a lasso, and is a symbol of men's rights. He's definitely not wonderful. He goes by the name Crap Man.
What'd you say?
He goes by the name Crap Man.
Crap Man. Wonder Woman?
Yeah, correct. Okay. Number three, this boy witnessed his parents mug and kill a rich couple, and he decided to become a symbol of what he doesn't fear, which is ice cream. Also, his arch nemesis is a guy who constantly takes everything very seriously. His name is Mr. Whippy Man.
When did you come up with these? Was this today?
Earlier today.
I can just imagine you sat somewhere typing this out and laughing at yourself. Batman?
Yeah, correct. Okay.
Yeah, good.
Number four, whatever you do not calm this man down. You won't like him when he's calm. He goes by the name The Credible Slump.
The Credible Slump. Incredible Hulk.
Correct.
Good.
Last one. Good. Yeah, you were very good at these. Number five, there's a whole family of them who aren't rich. They're all pretty dumb, and there's less or more than four. Also, one of them says flame off every time he turns off the stove, and the other one goes by the name Rich Readers. And they call themselves the Fantastic Chaps.
Rich Readers. What about the stone one? What about him?
Glenn Brim.
Fantastic Four?
Correct.
Yeah. Enid Blyton wrote that.
Yeah. I wish I had some more, but that's all I got down.
I wish you had some more, but maybe maybe you can write some more for next week. Who knows?
Yeah,
if you got time.
Okay, so we need to rate the film.
Rate the film. I mean, I didn't not like it.
Yeah,
I did not like it. But it was one that left me wanting a lot more from a lot of elements of it, and it was an entertaining watch, but it won't linger long in the memory. I'll probably only give it a C+, I think.
Okay. So I mean, I was going for a similar one. I've got here. Yes, this movie is dumb. Yes, it's basic AF. Yes. But also, yes, I like it. It delivers that beans on toast sustenance. A beans on toast horror movie with no frills, even fewer chills, but certainly hits the spot anyway. That's I
like it.
That's right. So C+. I was going to go for.
Plus, we've gone to C+ as well.
Yeah.
It's a good review. You should publish it somewhere.
Yeah, we are. This is it. This is what we're doing.
Official publishings.
Yeah. So next week, I don't know what we're doing next week. Halloween 3 could be on the cards.
What could be on the 3? Should we do Halloween 3 for episode 100? It seems a little bit redundant.
Oh, yeah.
Let's discuss this, but we've got to do something that's kind of interesting for not a Halloween 3 wouldn't be interesting.
Yeah.
Do something kind of interesting for episode 100. So episode 100 is just going to be a standard episode, but we'll do the 24-hour thing.
Yeah.
At some point soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
But until then, the show is brought to you by Hawk and Cleaver. Head over to hawkandcleaver.com. Become a patron at patreon.com/Hawk and Cleaver. Join the Facebook group, the Horror Hangout Board of Advisors. Thanks to Kovacs Calmer for our theme music. Thanks to Acast for hosting the show. Thanks to the listeners. If you enjoyed the show, please consider giving us a rating and review on iTunes. Thanks to my co-host Ben for being a right or a dude.
Thank you very much, Luke. Sorry for the sniffles, sorry for the coughs, and sorry for the plenty of times I put tissue in my face like this.
No, I like it. I think it adds a certain drama, theatre to the show.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It adds a little bit. Adds a little bit of something. It's like like I've got a prop now.
Yeah. All right, man. So we'll catch you soon.
Bye bye now.
Bye.